Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center, and we've got the coolest new knives that have just hit our shelves right here on the table in front of me, so let's check them out. All right, we're going to start things off this week with a knot knife.
Shyamalan plot twist.
This is the Worksharp folding field sharpener, and I have just picked one up for myself because I've been waiting for a Knife Center to be able to carry this, and now we can, and now it is here, and now this one is mine. It's a really cool little sharpening unit. It's about 25 bucks. You may see this form factor is a little bit similar. Benchmade had something similar to this a few years ago that was made for them by Worksharp with a ceramic rod and a small leather strop. I have one of those. I like it, but it's discontinued now. It was pretty pricey at the time. This is more affordable than the Benchmade branded thing that they did. And it comes with a 400 grit diamond plate on one side and a ceramic hone on the other. 20-degree angle guides are built into the frame, essentially, on the diamond side. Interestingly, on the ceramic side, it's a 25-degree angle guide here. So you could certainly still sharpen at roughly a 20-degree angle. But I think the idea here is, you put your edge in with the 40 or 400, refine it with this, and you're just going to get kind of a micro bevel right at the edge, and putting it in at a little bit of a more obtuse angle. There's reasons to do that. You're going to increase the toughness, be less fragile.
Field sharpening should be expedient.
And if you're in the field, it should be something that stands up to use, I would say, too. So I guess there's a reason for it. Whether you choose to use the same angle or the different angles as provided, entirely up to you. But I love how compact the thing is. I love how it comes with a pocket clip, even though I'm not going to be carrying it in my pocket. The clip is nice to keep things organized. It is removable, however, if you wish. And yeah, it is just a cool little unit. If I could get it open again, there we go. And this one is mine. Haven't used it yet, but hey, there you go. Also from Worksharp, we have now, for their professional precision adjust, that thing that looks like that right over there, the universal abrasive handle is now available for about $45. So if you're unfamiliar with this, what it is it's a clamped system. You put your knife in here, kind of like so. I'm not going to actually do it. And it's got a magnetic plate where the stones, diamond stones, etc., that are provided snap onto there, and you sharpen your knife. Well, now this universal unit right here, you can use more than just the official stones. What it can handle, up to a 6-inch stone, essentially, right there. It could be wider than just the strip here, and it's got spring-loaded arm here at the back. You could have flat sides. You could have something with a tapered end will fit in there as well. So it really opens up the whole system to a wider variety of abrasives that are out there, both official and unofficial. There you go. And if you have the version of this with the carrying case, there is a slot in there for the universal handle. So it already has a place for it. And if you don't have the carrying case and you want both, you can get the carrying case too. That's about $100. So it's not a cheap item, but it is a very nicely done hard case. So use that information however you wish. Next up, this is actually a pre-order alert. I have here the Knafs OCT, but you will notice it looks a little bit different from the versions that Knafs has been promoting so far, and that is because this is a Knife Center exclusive version of the nice small knife right here. And these are going to be shipping next week, after next week's New Knives episode. But I wanted to get you guys a sneak peek because you can put your order in for it right now. How is it different? Well, we've gone with a slightly more toned down look than some of the nice colors that they have chosen for the standard versions, with a nice gray aluminum right here, and upgraded the blade steel to S35 VN. So you're getting more edge retention, you're getting powder metallurgy performance, and the price is not a huge jump up. The standard versions are about $75 for 14C28N steel, $99.99 for S35 VN right here. I think it's pretty cool, and I love the way the kind of stealthed out look that it comes with here. Not so much like stealthy in terms of like an F-117, like all blacked out, but more like gray man, invisible sort of thing. 1.89 inch, they call it a Wharncliffe blade, but I'm going to say that's a modified sheep's foot. That's just me. Nice thin steel, high flat grind. The cutting cross section is going to be very efficient, and you should be able to put a lot of pressure on that tip right there, especially for such a short knife like this. You've got the leverage you need because it still has a 3-finger handle for most. If you've got smaller hands, it might even be a 3.5 finger handle. This was designed by Matt Fitzgerald, or Fitz. We've got an interview with Fitz and with Ben Peterson, the owner of Knafs, coming up next weekend as well. We're talking about this and knife design in general. Be sure to check that out. Has some nice details. We'll get into it a little more next week. But like I said, you could put your pre-order in now if you are interested. Link in the description. Or at the QR code in the corner, of course. All right, now for a EDC fixed blade, keeping the small knife trend going, at least here at the start. This is made by Three Rivers Manufacturing, or TRM, here in the USA. It is a MagnaCut pocket fixed blade. The Tagalong is the name. 2.3 and some change on the blade length, sort of an upswept, yeah, we'll call it, is that a trailing point really because of the dip down? Might be a trailing point. Upswept blade in any case, of MagnaCut steel, so it's very tough and high edge resistant, high edge holding, and stainless, of course, and several different handle materials. This one is the one that stood out to me the most, the Autumn Orange Micarta. It's not the most exotic of the handle materials in this batch that we have, but it's a little bit different, and I like it. I like orange micartas. It is a 3-finger grip for me, as you can see, and despite the finger groove here being like quote unquote too small, it doesn't like prohibit me from having a fairly comfortable grip. At first I thought I might want it, out to here, so it's more like my finger size, but truth be told, it nestles in there just fine. I'll see if I can get a illustration of that. For the way you're gonna hold this knife anyway, it is not a problem. Pinch grip is rather nice. You can, slice with all that belly on a surface if you're holding it that way quite easily. Comes with a leather string's the wrong word, little leather strip, so you can make a fob on the back if you want. Comes with this leather sheath as well, and it comes with an ulti clip in the box, so you can set it up left or right carry in the pocket, no problem. You might even be able to do, I haven't checked to see if it's compatible with like Tech-Lock hole spacing. Not quite, but if you got something like Civivi's T-clip with this hole and slot arrangement, you could rig this up, with a belt carry option if you wish. Those things are like, the prices may have jumped, but last I remember they were like $5 or $6. They're very inexpensive. But that's the Tagalong. That's very cool. First fixed blade. Trying to go through my history. It's either the first fixed blade TRM has ever done under their own brand name, or it's the first one I've handled. There may have been one in the past somewhere that I just never got my hands on, but it's the first one that I've handled. So there you go. We've also got, how many of this? 28 new SKUs, 28 new part numbers of Three Rivers on the site right now, including tagalongs, including Holier Nerds, the 2.2-inch folder, Bulldog Rev B's crossbar locking folder, and a handful as well of the Neutron 2. Here are just 2 of them right here. We've got this turtle shell G10, which is kind of fun. You can see if you can get some nice reflections there on camera to show you the texture. It's got a nice feel to it. I don't know how to describe it, quite honestly. I don't go around petting turtles very often, so I can't tell you if it's
you haven't lived.
I'm not Joe Flowers. He might be able to tell me, oh, that feels exactly like this subspecies of whatever genus of turtle. Thought I was going to have something funnier to say than turtle, but it's turtle. $220 for this. You got a 3-inch MagnaCut blade. Crazy thin. They've always done a really good job of keeping the edge geometry, or the whole blade geometry, very much on the slicey side. You've got that inset liner lock. You've got the deep carry pocket clip, right side tip up. Good action as well. And then in addition to that, the other one that kind of caught my eye, was this right here, the Lizard Skin Tangerine Tiger G10. This one's $255. It has a little more milling going on in terms of texture on the surface, which is really hard to make out on camera because of, or even in person, because of the texture or a pattern of the G10 itself, but it's pretty cool. Whereas the pattern on the turtle shell right here, judging on the fact that this top surface still is fairly glossy, but the part that's machined down here on the side has more of that matte texture. I'm guessing this came as a finished sheet with this texture already baked in. So they kind of purchased the sheet in the thickness they needed and just cut it out and knocked the edges down to where they need. So that's less manufacturing time on the CNC than the texture that is on the Tangerine Dream Tiger Lizard G10. Lizard Skin Tangerine Tiger. There you go.
Lemon Leopard.
It's very cool in any case. But like I said, bunch of new TRMs at the site. You can check them out if you wish. At the link below or at the thing up there in the corner. Next up, 2 new seasonal releases from Benchmade. Actually, checking our website, one of them is seasonal. One of them appears to not be seasonal, possibly. But the color scheme is the same. Taiga green on the mini Bugout and the Shootout. Both of them, I think, look really good. I think the Shootout looks even better with the blade finish they've done on it here. It's sort of a battle-washed PVD as opposed to the coating on the mini Bugout, which is a Cerakote with no sort of tumbling or anything like that. But anyway, the mini Bugout, $175. You've got LMAX blade steel here on this one, so a bit of a difference from the standard version. And the Taiga green grivery handles. I never know how to pronounce that. After all these years of seeing that word, I've never gotten a consensus from even people who sell the knife, like Benchmade. I've heard them say it, grivery or grivery.
Probably regional.
I like grivery because it's like ivory, but
Cola and pop.
or Bowie and Bowie, even though Bowie's more correct. Fight me in the comments. At least when we're talking about knives.
I was thinking seed buoys.
Could be those. In Great Britain, some people refer to the deceased pop singer as David Bowie for whatever reason. But this is...
I don't think he was a sailor.
No, I think you're correct. But this is a knife show. The mini Bugout, it is very small, very slicey, very lightweight, very easy to carry. 1.5 ounces in weight. You got the crossbar lock. Sorry, a little bit of stick there. No problem. Finger safe closing action thanks to the crossbar lock there. What more do you want to know? You could also check out, we had them last week, our KnifeCenter exclusive trio of standard size Bugouts in Magna Cut steel for $200. We'll leave a link for that down below as well. The Shootout, I'm a big fan of the Shootout, especially the drop point blade because I'm a drop point kind of guy. What can I say? It is an OTF with a blade meant to actually cut stuff on a daily basis, as opposed to being like an overbuilt, last ditch emergency tactical type of tool. This is, it's not trying to be all of that. It's just trying to be a pocket knife. And I think it's a very good pocket knife. Z-Wear is the steel right here, which is essentially identical to Crewwear, which is still the steel available on other versions of this. I know supplier issues in the last year with Crucible, who makes Crewwear, going bankrupt, and the company and the IP changing hands. They probably made this decision to keep timelines smooth. And hey, the steel's the same stuff essentially anyway. So very tough, high edge retention, not stainless, however. The handle is also made to be held and used. It's not just a rectangle. It's a very nice shape. Aggressive traction, especially here up at the sort of thumb pad area. It's got a reversible clip and a spine-mounted switch, so it's fully ambidextrous. And something that some folks I know are really keen about, the blade actually comes out the handle exactly in the center instead of being canted to one side like most OTFs. So if you like that sort of thing, there you go. There's an option. All right, now let's go get some more affordable stuff on the table. This is the Aegis T from Kizer, and it is about $70 right now. It is sort of a hybrid between a tactical knife and a rescue knife is what I would say, because you've got tactical features like a Tanto blade. You've got some considerations towards rescue with the option of a partial serrated edge. You can also get this in fully plain edge in a black or a green handle. Right now the combo edge here only comes in this brown handle. And rescue-wise, you've got the strap cutter here at the back and a glass breaker, which is equal parts a tactical and a rescue feature, I would say. And the, oops, this is fun. Let me close that real quick. The hook is actually locking as well with a nice liner lock there at the back. Whether you use that or not, it's a shape that works pretty well, that handle. Like, it can definitely fill all of my hands. I can fit all of my fingers on the handle, and it fills up my hand quite nicely. Phew! Nailed that first take. For all you know. Obviously the first thing I thought of with this is a budget option to a Benchmade like the Bailout. And yeah, it kind of gets in that ballpark. The steel is AEBL. It's a stainless steel, so it's not going to have, and it's not going to have the same powder metal type of performance as the options available on the Shootout. But it's a very tough stainless steel, and it holds a decent edge too. And also the handle is considerably more hand-filling than the Shootout. So there you go. That would be kind of the differences. Still, for a budget alternative to that knife, really not a bad option at all. There you go. Next up, we have a big old fixed blade. This is from designer Chris Conaway of Sheepdog fame, the Kizer Sheepdog and Sheepdog knives especially. This is the Sheepdog Survival fixed blade right here. Reminds me a little bit of like the MSK knife that was out several years ago at this point. It's a little sleeker than that knife was, and it's coming in about $90 right now. Comes with a 5.28 inch blade. Steel is 1095 carbon, and it is about 3/6. Well, is that? That's almost a 1/4 inch, isn't it? Let's check the spec sheet. It's not quite. I don't think it's getting there. 0.217 inches. 5.5 millimeters would be the way they probably measured it in the factory right there. So very substantial. You've got a saber height flat grind on it as well. So this is less about being a efficient slicing hunting knife and more about being a bit more of a bruiser, a hard use camp and survival blade. Hey, maybe that's why they called, had the word survival in the name of the knife. Tip is right down the center line. You get that straight clip point on the end. So it's going to be with that geometry, it's a pretty robust tip, and it's going to drill pretty efficiently, being that inline point as well. Handles are micarta, pretty decent swell. Feels pretty decent to me. As with anything, your mileage may vary. I feel like in the standard hold here in the handle, I'm wanting to kind of put my thumb on the bit of a ramp here and angle it forward. But if I want to get finer, heavy carving or push cuts done, I'm really wanting to choke up and use that unguarded finger choil there at the front. That really feels more aligned for that sort of thing. Here, it feels a little far back for me. Your mileage may vary. Protruding tang at the back, good for bashing. You've got the steel cup here in the handle to act as a bow drill bearing block. So if you're doing primitive fires, just make sure the knife is in the sheath when you're doing that. Don't hold the knife by the edge itself. Do it like this. There you go. Speaking of the sheath, it is Kydex. Comes with this standard clip with a little bit of a J-hook on the end to keep it from slipping off your belt, but still making it easy to take on and off when you wish. And this does rotate as well, so you can set it up how you like. And I dare say a tech lock will work, or a CVVT clip will work if you want to swap it out for something a little bit different. Next up, we have how do I put this delicately? A sort of unfortunately named Kizer. This is spelled Phoca. How would you pronounce that? Good. I'm glad to know that's how you would pronounce it, because I'm not going to pronounce it here on the show. There are two versions that I've got in front of me, but there are several to choose from, several variants of either. There is a crossbar locking version and this version here, which let me just make sure I'm calling it what they're calling it, the button liner lock. We'll get to that in a second. Crossbar locking version first comes in at about $65 for this version with a 14C28N blade and black micarta, black linen micarta right there, and some nice sort of copper colored accenting hardware pieces. It's a really elegant flowing design. I really dig that. I like the elliptical nature to this drop point blade. It's just under 3 inches long, so it can be taken just about everywhere, and it's got a gracefulness without getting in the way of utility. I mean, it's just a great usable drop point blade all around. Hold on the handle for me is about 3.5 fingers. You can choke up a little bit. If I bridge the pivot, I've got all 4 fingers, no problem. And while it lacks a conventional finger choil per se, the area around the pivot is sort of meant to be used as part of the grip. You can actually see some jimping on the frame right there. That gives you, a little bit of traction for your fingertip if you're up there doing something like this, for example. Single-sided pocket clip. Kind of wish that was reversible because, of course, the crossbar lock is reversible or ambidextrously usable. The crossbar lock itself can't be ambidextrous because it doesn't have hands, but it suits ambidextrous use. There we go. It's a good shape. I really, really dig the shape. Next up, the button liner lock version, which is essentially a button-actuated compression-style lock. But of course, Spyderco still owns the rights to the name compression lock, even though the patent is now freely available. Yeah, this one's nice too. This one is sand aluminum. Same specs, essentially, same steel, different handle material, but, dimensionally and everything else, it's the same. This one is about $80. And I'm guessing that's probably a difference in the handle material as opposed to the lock. But let me see. Yeah, you can get versions of the this button style lock on for about $65 as well. You can check out the full selection below. It's really nice. We're seeing this type of button, this shape show up on several Kizers recently, so it's nice they're kind of maintaining that bit of brand identity. Yeah, this one feels even higher class thanks to that subtle aluminum color there. It says sand, but it's almost like a champagne-like quality. Really nice. Next up, we have got the Johann Jordan designed Allure from Kizer. Do you find it alluring? Tell me in the comments. This is coming in at about $150. You've got an S45 VN blade with a straight clip point. Well, that is technically a drop point. All right. It even says drop point on the website. Maybe I should have read something first. Yeah, there is a little bit of arc right there. You can almost call that a harpoon tip right there. It's got a nice blade, not too thick or thin, pretty decent slicing geometry for daily use. And at 3.5 inches, it has reach for bigger tasks, but it's not, overly chunky in the pocket. Like this is going to fold up and carry quite easily, I think, thanks to that size and shape right there. You could open it with 2 different operations or 2 different mechanisms. You've got the blade cutout and you got the front flipper, but I don't do front flippers anymore unless there's no choice. Getting salty about it. I gotta do it. Okay, it works. Front flippers aren't my best friend, but this one's okay. We can get along. We can hang out. Allure. Yeah. Oops. I was gonna say reverse flick works great, but then I flubbed it. What are you gonna do?
Just transferring skill points from one to the other.
I guess. I reset my build, and now I'm just I'm not optimized for any one thing anymore. Titanium handles, black micarta inlays on this one. Different inlay options and blade finishes are available. I believe there's even a Damascus version. Yes, there is. Ooh, that one looks really nice. It's got a black titanium blade and a Panama rosewood inlay. Check that out down below as well. Next up, we have got from Kizer's Premium X Series lineup, the Mithril, coming in at $349. And there are some really nice details. My favorite is the view from the back. Each side of the frame is kind of crenellated inward. Anyway, just this pattern, whatever you want to call it, looks really cool. And the way it's sort of picked up and elaborated on with the shape of that backspacer there is just pretty cool in my mind. The handles here are titanium as well. We've got machined carbon fiber inlays front and back. The steel is just over 3.5 inches long, M390, compound ground Tonto right there. Gold accents, good button locking action. You got that finger safe closing action. You've got wrist flick open and closed. You could of course use that thumb plate if you want. Milled pocket clip at the back. It definitely feels a step up from the Allure, or several steps up in terms of just more nice, more nicerness. It's very dumb. I don't care. Final little Easter egg right here. The button. You see that? It do glow. So that's pretty fun. That's cool. It shows up really cool. So there you go. The Mithril. Next up, I got a couple more Tontos. These are from North Mountain Blade, and you've seen some of their stuff on this channel quite a bit, because it's quite nice, including an exclusive version of the crossbar chop, which got more of those here in a second. First, more Chop 2s have just arrived. This one is about $150. It's got that SLD Magic blade. High performance tool steel at the center of the core. Not an actual hamon. This is actually a laminated blade with a polished edge, giving it a hamon-like finish without actually being a heat-treated hamon. Button lock action is nice. We've got titanium for the handles here with carbon fiber inlays, so it's a little bit fancier than some of the versions of this that we have had in up to this point. Slightly softer on the button lock flipping action on this one. Maybe an anomaly, because most of the ones I've felt up to this point have felt a little bit crisper than this particular one. So there's always a little bit of variance with even the best. Not that it's bad, don't get me wrong, but anyway. Now, this one right here, new versions of the crossbar chop. The blade here is also laminated. We've got a 10 CR core here, so you've got stainless as opposed to the SLD right here, but it's also laminated with layers of copper on each side as well for another extra cool look. And again, something that if you see it on knives, that are more attainably priced, and even at $180, I realize this is not a cheap knife, but most of the time when you see this type of blade treatment on knives that are less expensive than this, they're usually not particularly great. So you are getting like good value for the price, even though it's not a budget knife. Anyway, crossbar lock. It flicks nicely. Yeah, everything about it feels super, super solid. Interestingly, it feels like a little bit different. Now I need to check. The handle shape feels a little bit different than the exclusive we had. Where's N in the alphabet? There it is.
I don't know. None of those are labeled.
So this is also the crossbar chop. Yeah, man, this is like completely different size to the exclusive that we have. But I think we still have some of these exclusives available. And that is with the SLD Magic blade, however, so keep that in mind. Blade length on this one is about just over 3.5 as opposed to the 3 3/4 on the exclusive that we've got right here. 45 auto on the top of the thumb plate right there. Next up, got two more from North Mountain Blade. This is the Kaiken, a take on the popular Kaiken blade style, of course. And this one is much higher priced than a lot of the North Mountain Blades stuff because it has been just like festooned with engraving right here. This is $550 bucks right now. Blade is M390, 3.5 inches long. Golden Toad is the engraving, what do we want to call it, theme. We're just gonna have to get some slow close-ups of this because I don't know how to like describe it without just letting you see it. So here, see it, why don't you? Yeah, just really nice. And last but not least, I know I said I don't do front flippers unless there's no other option, and it appears there is no other option on this one. I can live with this. Yeah, that works fine. It's curled around the top enough that I like the leverage that you get on that. So there you go. That is the Kaiken. Next up, we have the Element from North Mountain Blade with a 4-inch M390 blade at $235 with sort of it's an upswept drop point. Very interesting. In M390 steel. Big solid slab of titanium, solid feel in the hand. Definitely gives you knuckle clearance if you're doing any kind of heavier slicing or cutting on a surface. Pinch grip especially, you could really work this front 2/3 of the blade using all that belly really nicely. Interesting feature you don't see too often on modern or on the more modern knives that come out nowadays, a 4-position pocket clip, tip up or tip down, left or right, with the milled titanium pocket clip being able to be mounted in any of those positions. Hidden lanyard point at the back. Yeah, simple but solid on this design, I would say. Nice and big, great slicing. I mean, that's just slicer all the way. I don't know what else to say about that. So I won't say anything else about that. Last but not least, we have the rather innocuously named Cabbage slicer from Meglio or Meglio knives. It is a Karambit. Available in several different versions, starting at $265 for a MagnaCut stone-washed version, or $295 for a stone-washed CD1 steel version, which is a Carpenter micro-melt steel. The way I kind of understand it, I wanted to make sure I had my facts right here. MagnaCut, as we know, which is on this version with handles included, is a supremely well-rounded powder metallurgy steel. It's very stainless. It is quite tough and holds an edge quite well in a way that, all 3 of those categories can never be true with any stainless or with any steel typically until MagnaCut broke the rules. But it is not the toughest nor the highest edge retention steel on the market. It's just got high marks in all of them, well-rounded. CD1, which you can get MagnaCut or CD1 in this black finish as well for higher prices than the stone-washed versions, is going to be much tougher than the MagnaCut bladed version. So if you're worried about the durability of the tip or just want to be reckless, this should withstand more abuse or haphazard use, shall we say. Edge retention will not be or should not be as high as the MagnaCut, but think of like toughness somewhere up there with like 5160, with edge retention something like A2 tool steel. If that helps you, then good, I'm glad. If not, we'll just say it's the tougher option than the MagnaCut, won't hold an edge as long, and it's not stainless as well. You can get the MagnaCut versions with these handles, and you can get it with a black stonewash or a stonewash blade for about $450. The handles here on this one are black acacia wood. It looks like the other option is cocobolo wood. As far as feel in the hand, it's a little bit on the smaller side. For my slightly larger than average hands, I do feel a little bit squished, and the finger hole works for me just. If I were wearing gloves, it would be too small, however. The sheath for these is Kydex, and it comes equipped with this isn't Discreet Carry Concepts. Who is this? It is Discreet Carry Concepts, silly me. With an inside the waistband hook that should also work on some belts if they're not too wide, and you could even pocket carry this if you wanted to. Check it out right now. Designed by Brandon Hampton, made in the USA. That's all we got for right now, folks. Let me know what you thought of the knives down in the comments, or the sharpeners. Let me know what you thought of the sharpeners too. And if you want to get your hands on any of them, check out the links in the description, which will take you to KnifeCenter.com. Don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program or our Apple Pay or Sezzle options at checkout if you want to buy now, pay later. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera, and we are signing off for now. See you next time.